Batman '89 came out 35 years ago, guys. That's pretty crazy to think about. 35 years later, here we are constantly arguing about Batman killing. And wow, did he do a lot of killing in this one, that's for sure. But I thought, hey, let's do the facts thing again, and let's talk about some interesting facts when it comes to the making of Batman '89. And before we get started, if you want this shirt right here, well, it's down in the Film Junkie closet, as well as a specialized little Michael Keaton shirt. When it comes to the celebration of Batman '89, just use the promo code BAT35 to get 15% off your purchase. All right, guys, let's get into it. You ready? Okay. 25 facts about Batman '89. Batman went into development in 1980. Tom Mankiewicz wrote the first script about the origins of not only Batman, but Robin as well. The script pulled from Batman Strange Apparitions and was set to go into production in 1985. The budget would have been a staggering $20 million, but sadly, producers Michael Uslan and Benjamin Maliker walked away from the film and was shelved until John Peters and Peter Gruber got a hold of it. That's right, guys. John Peters. Tim Burton wasn't the first choice for director. There was a laundry list of directors WB wanted that included Ivan Reitman, who of course directed Ghostbusters, Joe Dante, who directed Gremlins. Oh, and they wanted John Lithgow to play the Joker. Send me to that universe where that is actually a thing. Oh yeah, and they wanted David Cronenberg at one point. That's right, a David Cronenberg Batman. Gee, what would have that been like? Well, Tim Burton had huge success with Pee-wee's Big Adventure, so Warner Brothers was like, hey, we want you. Yeah, but Burton did not like the Mankiewicz script. He wrote a 30-page treatment with his girlfriend, and Warner Brothers producers approved it. So he tasked Sam Hamm to write a new script based on the treatment. And guess what, folks? There was a writer's strike between 1985 and 1986. So Burton got Warren Scarron, who he worked with on Beetlejuice, to take over. By the way, Batman was not greenlit yet. They wanted to wait to see how Beetlejuice performed at the box office before, they gave the green light. Mel Gibson was the first choice for Batman. I can see that. So Burton had to fight for Michael Keaton, which is funny because Bill Murray was considered for the role of Batman at one time by the studio. Burton really sold Michael Keaton to the studio because of the duality of the character that is Batman, and he goes like, hey, he could do both. Look at him in Beetlejuice. But he also loved that Keaton was a small guy so that he would actually need to dress up as a bat to be intimidating. It wasn't until Keaton's performance in 1988's Clean and Sober that sold John Peters, who saw an early screening of the movie. Jack Nicholson was the first choice for Joker, but he needed some convincing. Willem Dafoe, that's right, everyone's fan cast to this very day, was considered for the Joker, as well as James Woods, David Bowie, and Robin Williams. To help get Nicholson on board, they let him know that, Robin Williams was dying for the role, so they used that as leverage to get Jack Nicholson to sign on. Williams was pissed because he really wanted the role and he felt he got used, which, fuck that shit. The deal for Nicholson was final after Burton rode a horse with him, to which Burton was scared shitless because he had never ridden a horse. Eddie Murphy was considered to play Robin. Robin was ultimately scrapped from the script, to which he was added to Batman Returns, where another young black comedian got the gig, but that's for a future video. Sean Young was cast as Vicky Vale. Young was ready to go, but suffered a serious injury in a horseback riding accident that was originally for this movie. She broke her collarbone riding the horse on the ground of Wayne Manor. Yeah, that's right, there was gonna be fucking horses in this movie. This was a week out, so she needed to be replaced. Funny enough, Michelle Pfeiffer was asked to audition for Vale, but her and Keaton were dating at the time, so he felt it would be awkward. Again, a future video. Kim Basinger was actually the original choice for Vicky Vale, but her agents were reluctant unless there was an offer on the table. She got busy on another project, but got an emergency call after Young's accident, in which she accepted. And of course, we got the legendary Vicky Vale scream. they really wanted Ray Liotta to play a part in this movie. Liotta was offered Batman, Joker, and Harvey Dent. Liotta turned down all those roles to go work on a little movie called, oh that's right, Goodfellas. Jack Nicholson made $60 million for the role of the Joker. What? He did a little Brando when it came to Brando and Superman 78, but not only did Nicholson get a percentage of the box office, he got a percentage of the merchandise. Costume designer Bob Ringwood designed 25 latex costumes for Batman. There were also 25 capes, but only 6 different cowls. Burton gave one note to him: no spandex. Total cost for the costume was a measly little $250,000. The Batmobile was a Frankenstein car. The chassis was from a Chevy Impala, as well as the engine. Fuel caps were from a London bus. Jet engine parts of the Batmobile were from a Harrier jump jet, and the headlights were from a Honda Civic. The Batman shoot only took 12 weeks. I got nothing else for that. I just think that's pretty efficient. Michael Keaton is responsible for the "I'm Batman" and the grisly voice. The voice came because, yeah, why wouldn't he disguise his voice? But the original line in the opening was, "I am the Knight." Keaton improvised "I'm Batman," which is now synonymous with the character. But hey, "I am the Knight" was brought back by another iconic actor who played Batman. Well, voice actor.
I am the Knight.
John Williams was the first choice to score the movie, but Burton decided on Danny Elfman, and John Peters was skeptical of Elfman until he heard the main Batman theme. Yeah, Elfman, we get it. There's only one Batman theme. That's not true, but it's iconic. Whatever. George Michael and Michael Jackson were being looked at for the film's soundtrack. They actually approached Michael Jackson, but he had too many concert commitments, so they went with Prince. While Prince was producing the songs, Burton would play Prince songs during the production, especially when it came to the museum and parade scene. Burton kind of felt like maybe the choices of songs that were used for the movie were going to ruin the tone that he set off to make for Batman, but hey, what are you going to do? The soundtrack sold 3 million copies in 11 countries. The production design for Gotham City cost $5 million to make. They were committed to making Gotham feel real and transform the backlot of Pinewood Studios in London to be the practical set for Gotham City. Practical, awesome, but man, does that Monarch Theater show up in a lot of scenes. The climax for the movie was written late into the shoot. According to Robert Wool, the climax got inspired after Nicholson and Peters went to a showing of Phantom of the Opera, which the Phantom has his last stand in a bell tower. Nicholson was still confused on why they were walking up all those steps of the cathedral, and Burton says, we'll talk about it when we get to the top. Turns out Burton had no idea what was planned. Jack Nicholson stressed out the costume designer. He would sign the Joker gloves and hand them out to visitors on the set. He agreed to stop doing it though, but according to Bob Ringwood, hundreds of gloves were signed and given out. Jack Nicholson would always arrive late to set because he lived that Jack Nicholson lifestyle. Insert bad Jack Nicholson impression here. He stayed up late, dined out all the time, attended parties, and when he would show up to set and sit in the makeup chair, he would sometimes fall asleep. Hey, it's Jack Nicholson, and he still made the most money out of this gig. Did you know that the money that the Joker was throwing out to Gotham during the parade scene was counterfeit? No, I mean like within the story. The novelization clears up that he was throwing out counterfeit bills with his face on it. That was a callback to Vicky Vale asking what he wants at the museum.
What do you want?
My face on the $1 bill.
The Joker was not originally supposed to kill the Waynes. The original screenwriter had many arguments with Burton early on for that change. But since there was a writer's strike, he had no more input in the script, and it was changed back to Joker killing the Waynes. So I guess you could say that Burton had no chill. The alter ego of the Joker, Jack Napier, that name is significant. Jack Napier came from the word jackanapes, which is a medieval English term for foolish man who resembles an ape. It was also referencing actor Alan Napier, who was in the Batman TV show. The teaser trailer was the most bootlegged trailer of all time. Warner Bros. Quickly put together a trailer where it did not have any score and tested it with audiences to assure the fanboys about the movie, especially about Keaton being Batman. The trailer got a standing ovation and a bootleg was passed around multiple comic book conventions. Fucking nerds. The Batman box office is one of the reasons why we pay attention to opening box office numbers to this day. It was such a worldwide box office success, it started the trend in Hollywood that yes, we gotta pay attention to the first opening week numbers, and now of course we're obsessed with that second weekend drop. And finally guys, the Batman 89 emblem, which I love so very much because it's a very distinct Batman emblem. I love it. I always thought it was just like a 3-spiked tail, but apparently it was feet. And there's really no definitive information on why they went with that design, but the best one that I found was the fact that they didn't have the full-on rights to have the trademark Batman logo, so they went and did an alternate design, but then eventually after filming they got the rights to the full-on Batman logo. Yeah, it doesn't even make sense to me either, but they got the full-on rights. That's why at the beginning and at the end and on the cover and the posters you see the traditional Batman logo. Batman 89 is iconic. It was the first superhero movie I ever saw in the movie theater. I remember seeing it with my brother and my dad, and I've watched it so many times and will continue to watch it, and it's just going to be one of those movies. It's just always going to be one of those superhero movies that everybody talks about, and of course everybody loves Michael Keaton's Batman, and he proved everybody wrong. And then of course he came back, which, you know, that got a little bit of mixed reviews, but it was awesome seeing him back as the Bat. And there you go, guys. That is 25 facts about Batman 89. Let me know down below what your favorite fact was, and hit that like, thumbs up. Do all that, and like I said, if you want some Batman shirts or that Keaton shirt, it's down below in the Film Junkie closet. Go check it out. All right, guys. Love ya. Talk to you later.